All right, free radicals, welcome back. My name is Dave, and I'm the Radical Independent. This is my channel, and whatever happens here is because I decided it would happen here. I'm kind of in an ornery mood. I was a little more ticked off yesterday at this, and it was later in the day, and, there's some stuff going on out there. And all I can tell you is that if you want me to vote for Joe Biden, then a good way is to trash the guy running in the Green Party who pretty much has the nomination all sewn up. Your goal is to sheep herd me into either the Democratic Party or, God forbid, back to Donald Trump. Then, I'm starting to see this weird pattern among so-called journalists, those who are doing indie media, and you can disagree with me all day long, but a lot of these so-called channels out there are more interested in being like tabloid news. Like, they want to be indie tabloid news. They're more concerned about the clicks. They're more concerned about the views. This woman here, her name is Andrea. She works for Howie Hawkins. She is his campaign manager. Every time I've spoken to her, she has been informative, she has been polite, she has also been candid. I have no reason to think that this is an untrustworthy person or nefarious in her motivations. She understands what kind of uphill battle she has. We spoke for quite some time yesterday, and we talked a lot about how most likely in the near future, Howie Hawkins will face all kinds of crazy neoliberal attacks, that he's a Russian agent and so forth, and a puppet of Putin and all that fun stuff. That's what is coming. So I'm going to let Andrea talk. I'm not going to name any names here. She will do the naming of the names. I've spoken to her directly. I've also interviewed Howie Hawkins on my show. He answered some fairly tough questions, mainly on Russiagate. She's going to talk about the difference here between doxing an opponent and doing op research, which, if you know politics and you understand what opposition research is, and I do, it's done in every campaign, and it's not anything new or different. I'm sensing that there are a lot of people out there that resent how organized this campaign was, and maybe they missed their opportunity to be organized, but I'll let Andrea talk about it here.
Hey everybody, it's Andrea. Just wanted to make a quick video and address something that's kind of popped up here in the last week, kind of agitated by a YouTube personality. And that's the question of whether or not our campaign is doxing people. So there is a distinct difference between what is called doxing and what is called opposition research. And there is no campaign manager worth their salt that doesn't understand the background of their opposition. That's your job as a campaign manager. And especially when it comes to a party like the Green Party, where feminism is a key value. Hypothetically, and I'm not saying that this is what came up because it didn't come up, if you have an opponent who has a history, say, of domestic violence, of sexual assault, it's absolutely a campaign issue. Because the Green Party cannot present in this hypothetical situation a candidate whose life and core values don't seem to reflect the core values of the party. In this case, the key value of feminism that we have in the Green Party. Like I said, that's a hypothetical example, but that's why you do that. And so I understand that there are political neophytes out there who have sort of an idealistic way to look at politics. The thing is that politics is about the real world. So just like I expect other campaigns to have done some sort of opposition research on my candidate, I've done the same thing because that's my job. That is entirely different than doxing. Doxing is something that is done to get people fired from their jobs, to get them evicted from their homes, and to cause real mayhem in their lives out of real nefarious, kind of chaotic sort of impetus. That is completely different from what we did. And so I need to point out that that information that's being passed around, and oh, look, here's the evidence that the campaign is doxing, which in fact we were not doxing. The one who's actually sharing that information are the people that are making commentary about it and who are getting their 15 seconds of fame by talking about it. They're the ones that are actually sharing it around. And that information was taken out of a confidential space by people who presented themselves as supporters of this campaign, but who really were not.
All right, I'm going to stop because eventually she's going to actually say who it is, who that YouTube agitator is. And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to say this, and you can disagree with me. You can watch whoever you want to. Typically, when people are told don't watch this person, they're going to go watch them more. And I'm not doing tabloid TV, okay? My mission in life doing this channel was never to become a YouTube star. Would I like to have more subscribers? Sure. I have another channel. That channel does very well. I am a C-list YouTuber, as my son likes to say, and I'm content with that, okay? I came over here to do this channel because we don't have any choices, okay? We come up with a choice. We say, Howie Hawkins, you like Bernie Sanders? Check out Howie Hawkins. Check out his platform. You don't have to vote for him. I think I'm going to vote for him. It's either going to be him or the Libertarian candidate, and I will figure that out toward the end. But I've been promoting Howie. I interviewed Howie. I'm hopefully going to interview his vice presidential pick, who I think was a great pick, and I think people should really take a hard look at Angela Walker. So I'm hoping to speak with her at some point. But here's the deal, okay? This isn't a dog and pony show. I am not a fashionable guy. I don't say cute things. I don't have little catchphrases. I don't play that game. I just get out there and, you know, sometimes I say stupid crap, but here's the thing. I'll acknowledge when I say stupid crap. But when you're out there promoting something that's not true and saying, breaking news, you know, Hawkins' campaign is undermining. Look, Howie Hawkins has got this nomination. All right. So you can either promote Howie or you don't have to talk about Howie. Go talk about Joe Biden and how bad he spoke today. Go talk about how Trump now is just, you know, a disaster at every moment when he opens his mouth. Talk about those things because, again, I think documenting the horse race of the two major parties might be more your thing, all right? And I know a lot of YouTubers, I've even been told, hey, Dave, you know, you should really get into this because this is where you're going to get viewership. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's a strategy I will think about down the road as I still promote green candidates, libertarians, independent thinkers, movement for a people's party. But there are some folks who have kind of set up shop on YouTube as supposed independents and progressives, and it's BS. It's just BS. They're looking to find their own little lane, and they find it, and then they call everybody out, and then I'm thinking, okay, so are you sheep herding for Joe Biden? Because that's what this all really boils down to. If you tear this guy down, who seems to be a pretty smart person, who seems to kind of have some kind of, you know, political instincts that are better than the two major candidates out there. Maybe you just don't like him for whatever reason. Maybe you bought into the Russiagate narrative that he's a Russiagator, which again, debunked on this platform. Spoke to Andrea a lot about this issue, and she was a little beside herself. I spoke to her again. This video is great, but I spoke to her for probably 45 minutes yesterday. And, you know, if my BS meter if that goes off, then I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just barking up the wrong tree as well, and I need to move on. But I think we're dealing with people who are decent, who want what's best for the country, and who would be light years better than the current choices we have. And I'm not saying that you jettison all your principles because this guy's got a great platform. Maybe you don't believe in this guy's platform, but why don't you take him on based on issues? Again, I'll be honest with you, the other guys in this primary, all right, the other candidates in the Green Party primary don't seem as serious. They don't seem very tech savvy. I'm going to put that out there for the first time. You have to have some sort of ability to navigate Zoom, and believe me, I'm not very tech savvy, but I could figure some of these things out, and I would sit there and I'm like, hey, I've got a presidential candidate coming on. I may want to get this right. People don't really care about my platform because it's smaller and insignificant. That's their choice. That's their decision. But at least try to put on a decent performance. You know what I mean? Try to at least get yourself up to good enough. I mean, you don't have to be spectacular, but it would be nice if people would make an effort to say, hey, I'm serious about this. One of the things that people worry about with the Greens in general, and it was floating around yesterday on Twitter, is that they're not serious. Well, again, that's up to the people who support the Green Party, not just the party apparatus. If you want this to be a serious party, then you need to invest your time and your money, and you need to try to, be positive rather than just, hey, my platform, this is what I do, breaking news, let's tear this down, let's make this into a train wreck. What purpose does that serve? Well, there's corruption in the Green Party. That's the theme now. There's all this corruption, rampant corruption. So you can't vote for Democrats, you can't vote for Republicans, you can't vote for Greens. So what do? What do? You stay home, right? You got libertarians out there. I'm sure there'll be videos tearing down libertarians. It's coming. It's coming. So what's the solution? It's just anarchy? Is that the solution? No, you know what this is? It is sheep herding. This is what I look at it. In the end, it's going to be sheep herding for Joe Biden. That's what it is. I mean, and I did the video about Tulsi the other day and how she made her choice. This person, by the way, like me, was a rabid Tulsi Gabbard supporter, had plenty of access to Tulsi and so forth, and now, like all of us, I think, trying to find our way in the wilderness. But, it's like you got this guy with this great platform, and your goal apparently is to tear stuff down. And Andrea says here that some of this information came out, and it probably, the way it came out, it was a little nefarious the way it came out, rather than, hey, I'll make a phone call. I did. I've had a good friendly relationship with this campaign team, including Howie and hopefully Angela. And I don't know. I just don't see what other people are seeing here. I don't see like the big scandal. Everybody's trying to tear the Green Party down. Okay, tear them down, but do so based on issues. Don't do it based on tabloid journalism, because that's what this ends up being. Nobody's going to address my video, by the way, because I'm not significant enough. By the way, if you do address my video here today, you're gonna bring subscribers over, because that's your strategy. That's how you do it. So if you're going to do it on your end, thank you, because I could use some help, because since the Tulsi train kind of derailed, there's very little interest in what I'm doing over here. But I can tell you this. If you're into a real platform of change, especially amidst, all of the violence going on, the race relations in this country and how bad things are in that area, you really should take a hard look at the Green Party. Anyway, I'm a little fired up, and I'm, doing the word salad here. I'm starting to sound like Joe Biden, so I'm going to sign off. But again, you can see Andrea's statement here on her Facebook page. And she's really accessible and really a nice person. So anyway, I'm done.